laughing?
Hey everybody, how you doing today? Or this evening, rather. This is August 2015, and this is the August edition of your favorite internet web television show, Keeping It Real, with me, your host, Dennis Aloia, live from Atlanta, Georgia. And we've got a very interesting show tonight. I've got my guest sitting right here next to me. I'm going to introduce you to him momentarily, but before I do that, I wanted to mention that this gentleman is so fascinating, he's going to probably run for more than our usual 15-minute segment. He's a man of many talents and a man of many directions. His name is Marc Urbach.
That's right. You said it
Did I
perfectly.
say it right?
Good to see you, Dennis.
Okay,
good to see you.
good to
Perfect.
see you,
That's
Marc.
perfect.
So we met recently, and
At the Landmark Diner.
At the Landmark
Had
Diner,
a great
yeah.
meal there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had a fascinating discussion, and I just wanted to have you come on so you can
Thank you
kind of
so much.
share your passions
Right.
with the audience. First of all, you're a rabbi.
No.
No, you're not.
I'm not a rabbi.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm
Rabbi in training.
a little bit.
You're a rabbit.
Right, exactly. I'm going full speed. I'm
Okay.
trying
See,
to.
it's magic and rabbits. I
Right,
can't get them out of my
right.
head, you know.
No, finally, for the first time in my life, I'm finally really enjoying Judaism. It's been a long time since
Good.
I've really gotten back into it.
Good,
Yeah.
good. So you're studying the Jewish text and
The morning prayers, the evening prayers, the afternoon prayers. Right.
and you can read Hebrew.
About 95, 96%. Yeah.
It's all Greek to me.
Right.
It's
I
all Hebrew to
just
me.
showed it to you for the first time. Right.
Yeah, it was actually pretty difficult. I mean, the letters in the book are average size, but
Right.
the determination of what each letter means
Because of the vowels,
is
I showed
denoted by little dots,
Little dots.
strategically placed.
Right.
And
yeah.
my
Yeah.
goodness, it's hard to
Yeah, the couple-
disseminate. Yeah,
Right. The three dots.
I know
the
you
straight
can't
up.
see this, and
Right.
you couldn't read it if you did, but it's an
Right.
interesting topic. But that's just one part of what you're all about.
Correct.
You're also an author.
Right. I have my second book coming out.
What's that all about?
This is my second book. The title is Believe. It's going to be on Amazon.com next week. You'll be able to get it on Amazon.com. And the title of Believe. I've spent about 2 years of my life researching for this book. I've showcased the Supreme Court cases that have removed religion out of our schools. And I've proven, not with my words, okay, but with Supreme Court Justice's former Ku Klux Klan member Hugo Black, his own words, that the famous phrase, a wall of separation between church and state, is by far the biggest lie in our nation's history. Okay, I've used his words to prove that. So I'm sure a lot of people in America have heard of David Barton. He's a very, very good, strong evangelical Christian. He wrote a book back in, I think it was 1997, called Original Intent. That's helped me greatly, and I think this is another fine addition to that type of book. But I think this is very, very definitive in proving that the wall of separation between church and state is without a doubt the biggest lie in America's history. And I'm an Orthodox Jew. I have no problem saying that, because what's happened to our nation the last 50 years, more specifically the last 20 years, removing religion, the Bible, and discrimination against Christians in this nation is an absolute disgrace. Christians are discriminated in their businesses, their pizza restaurants, their bakeries, photographers, and I've just had enough. I don't like it at all, because when Christians are attacked, they can come after us too, the Jews.
Yeah.
So I hope you'll take the time to read the book, and I titled it Believe because it's about 96% facts. And as soon as you start reading, you'll believe the words that are in it, because I only tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And that's how I've been living my life.
I'm not a constitutional expert, but the
Right.
little bit that I know about the founding fathers and that
Right.
era of our founding in America here, they all came, or a lot of the people originally decided to come to this country for freedom of religion.
That's correct.
Because they were being oppressed in the old countries.
That is absolutely correct.
And, the new country, America, was founded upon religious freedom.
That is correct.
And both Christians and Jews.
That's correct. They had freedom.
And you're right. Suddenly, over the period of a couple of centuries, we suddenly become a nation that is now mandated to have a separation between politics, or the government, and religion. Right. When in fact, that goes against what the founding of this country was all about.
Right.
So who and how was that allowed?
It started, the research that I've done in 1947, this famous Supreme Court case, Everson versus the Board of Education, and again, former Ku Klux Klan member, he hardly had any experience as a judge, Okay, started with the
This
famous
was Hugo Black.
Hugo Black. Started with the famous court case Everson versus the Board of Education, 1947, where he misinterpreted Thomas Jefferson's letter containing the phrase a wall of separation between church and state. He completely misinterpreted it. He was misinformed. He probably never studied the Founding Fathers like I've done the last 2 years. He probably never studied the First Amendment debates like I have. And this is what we've been led to. The past 50 years, religion has been pushed out of the public schools. In fact, for about 160 years, it was legal and constitutionally protected to teach the Bible in any grade level at any time, teach the Ten Commandments at any grade level at any time, for teachers to lead students in prayer in any grade level, okay, for students to lead the athletic games in prayer, in invocations and benedictions. All of those are now illegal except the Ten Commandments are taught in maybe less than 1% of the schools in this country teach the Bible a little bit. Everything else is illegal. And the thing is, the research that I've done, again, back to 1947, the Supreme Court, in my opinion, has made illegal decisions because they have imposed the federal government against the hamlets and the towns and the cities and the states.
Well, just to illustrate the ripple effect, I could go back many years. I'm older than you are.
Right.
When I went to school, they did in fact have prayers in school.
Right.
They had a silent time or for reflection or whatever. At that time, I can remember most of the families were two parents.
Right.
A father and a mother.
Right.
Divorce was not the norm.
That's correct.
Divorce was kind of outside the norm. Now, fast forward to today's time, religion is not present.
That's correct.
Families are broken up.
That's right.
The crime rate's out of control.
Out of control.
Drugs are out of control.
Out of control.
And I think that all stems in a large part from the Supreme Court decisions that this fella, Mr. Hugo Black, was involved in.
Started in 1947.
And you can see the generation of our country,
Right.
and that started and stems from the degeneration of families.
That's right.
And the fact that religion is not part of the family foundation anymore, and neither is the foundation of this country based on religion anymore. Take a look at the statistics. How many people go to church now versus 30 years ago?
Right, it's true.
It's minuscule.
Yeah. I was going to start off my introduction with a prayer from 1961.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I do that?
Absolutely. Okay. But introduce it first.
Okay.
Tell us
This prayer was legal in the state of New York in 1961 until the famous Supreme Court case in 1962, Engel versus Vitale. Again, Hugo Black and his friends struck it down and made it illegal and unconstitutional. Here's the prayer. Almighty God, we acknowledge our dependence upon Thee, and we beg Thy blessings upon us, our parents, our teachers, our soldiers, and our country. And that was legal. Teacher leading students in prayer for about it was illegal for 172 years until 1962. So basically what Hugo Black and his buddies on the court decided that what the Founding Fathers established was wrong. And that is what Hugo Black did was completely wrong, because he doesn't know the Constitution better than the Founding Fathers, that's for sure.
Well, from what I've seen about our Supreme Court in the last 50 years, or even less than that, the last 30 years, I am a strong proponent in the belief that nobody should be nominated for a lifetime position.
I agree with that.
They should be elected. They should be subject to impeachment.
Right.
Because this country is not going in the right direction.
That's correct. And we're going in the wrong direction. We're still going in the wrong direction.
We're in a very dangerous world.
It's very dangerous.
From a lot of different aspects.
Yeah.
But not to belabor this, but I wanted you to let the folks know how they can contact you, or how they can get a hold of that book when it comes out on Amazon.
Yeah, it's coming out next week on Amazon.com. Okay. The title is Believe. The second title is Do We Need a Third Great Awakening? And I fully support and believe that we do need a third great awakening in this nation. I'm calling for a moral revolution. I'm calling for all those freedoms that we had for 172 years to be back in the schools. And I'm an Orthodox Jew, and I have no problem with returning all those freedoms that we had back into the schools. I feel the schools are where our society starts. And if the children aren't going to be taught this way at home, we need to institute them back into the schools. As long as we keep everything neutral and non-denominational and non-sectarian, everything will be fine. Okay? And if they want to reach me on Facebook, you have to type in my full name, Marc with a C, Alan, A-L-A-N, and the last name is Urbach, U-R-B as in boy, A-C-H.
Great.
And you can see all my posts the last year and a half, which are mostly 99% factual based on the Founding Fathers, current events, politicians that I've recently met the last 3 months.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There's another aspect to you that I want to get
Sure.
get the audience to know about, and that's the fact that you're a very good photographer.
Yeah,
And
right.
you used to make
that's
a
right.
living at it,
right?
right?
Yeah, I had a photography business in Austin, Texas for 8 years. I did sports photography.
Okay, sports photography.
Right, for youth leagues, baseball and basketball, soccer. And,
That's great.
And I also freelanced with the AP a little bit.
And this is before high definition cameras where you can't make a mistake.
This is 35 million.
When you actually had to know what you were doing.
You had to know what you were doing. You had to expose properly, especially with the chrome film.
Yeah,
the slide film. Yeah.
You brought a picture I'd like you to share with our audience.
Okay, let me get it.
And stand by, folks. This is a amazing.
It's a large picture.
It's a very large picture. It's amazing.
Is that good, Mike?
The fact that if you're a NASCAR fan or if you like motorcycles, this collage of photographs is very impressive and very important. Mark, I'd like you to explain to our audience how and when these were taken.
This is the year of the Gulf War, the Desert Storm. The 24 hours at Daytona, when the NASCAR cars were painted in the colors of our branches of our military. Here's the Marine car. You can see the Marines standing in front of the car. Here's the Army car. Here's Richard and Kyle Petty at I think one of their last races. Richard and Kyle Petty. Here's Michael Andretti and his Formula One car. Here's the Bike Week. I'm sorry. Here's Bike Week. You have the street bikes.
Go from the top one again.
Okay, this is the Marines.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of try to get
They're standing.
Got it.
This is the street bikes. He's probably going 100 miles an hour there, and I caught him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Here are more street bikes. You can see they drag their knees on the pavement. Here's Kyle Petty, with sparks flying out of the front wheel. This picture is kind of neat to look at. It's the dirt bikes when it's pouring down rain. I was getting soaked, and this gentleman here is already off his motorcycle, and he's running back to get it.
Wow.
You can see the mud getting sprayed in this motorcycle's face right here. And here's a nice-looking Porsche. This would look great in Jim Ellis's dealership right there on Peachtree Industrial, right down the street from my home.
Hey, that's a good point, Mark.
Yeah.
You had a great idea about how someone...
Let him point out a few more here.
Okay. Here's the grandstand at Daytona Beach.
Oh, hold on. Where's that? Okay.
Right here. Maybe one of the executives that works in the corporate office would love to have that in his office.
Wow.
Yeah, this... let's see. We have the Army car again. And this is a classic. If you're a fan of Richard and Kyle Petty, they're side by side right here. 24 hours at Daytona. And this picture right here actually was printed in the Orlando Sentinel of the Mustang winning the race. Yeah. So, Dennis, why don't you explain to the folks what we're trying to do with this to raise money for the girl who has...
Well,
what do you think?
There's a family here locally. I'm going to call my son up, Mike, because he can explain
Mike,
it a little better.
Yeah.
Why don't you put this down?
I'll put it down. Come on
Mike,
up, Mike.
I'd like you to come up and explain.
Come on up, Mike.
Explain all this.
Adjust this real quick.
We're trying to. It's a mitzvah. Let me say one thing. This is a giant mitzvah. I've had this picture in my office since the first Gulf War. When was that? 1991, right?
Yeah.
It's been in my office since that time. I don't need it anymore. This in Judaism, you're supposed to do mitzvahs, a good deed.
Right.
Okay, and I'm trying to raise money for this family that needs the money to help their daughter.
That's where Mike's going to
That's what Mike's going to talk about.
Sit down there, Mike.
No, I'm good right here. Sit down, Dad.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm good. All right.
He said, tell the audience about this family, these two girls, and what you've done. And
We've teamed up with the American Legion. Batman and Jax got us involved with the Legion Post 250 out of Middleburg, Florida. Me and Batman and Santa Bob, we all got together, American Hearts Radio, and we had a benefit concert for the Welter family. And for their little girls, Gracie and Evelyn. Evelyn's 3 years old. She's went through cancer, chemotherapy. She's in remission right now. And Gracie has developmental issues. And Gregory Welter, the father, was actually in the National Guard, and he couldn't even make meetings. They could barely survive because of all the medical costs and everything. We put together this concert with several bands. We had Disciples of the South, the Kurt Town Band, Southern Boys, Doc Moccasin. We had Peter Hefty and Justin there, Batman, Santa Bob, and I tell you, it was a great show. We raised $3,653 for that family in one night.
Wow.
And we auctioned off T-shirts from Donnie and Johnny Van Zant autographed and paintings from Meg Scott that were donated from Texas.
now, what do you want to do with Mark's picture?
Well, Mark had a great idea,
Yeah.
so go ahead, because we're going to do more of these concerts and more of these benefit shows, and we're getting involved with all the American Legions.
Great.
I live here in Atlanta, Georgia, and right 2 miles from my home is Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, where there's all the car dealerships. You have Jim Ellis Chevrolet and Porsche, you have Hennessy Ford, Hennessy Lexus, you have Capital Nissan. I thought this would look nice in their showrooms. So I was thinking, why don't we just go to the Hennessy Ford, where I bought my Ford last year.
Right.
I know the salesman. He's very, very nice to me. We got along really well. As I usually get along with people that are like-minded.
Well, it's called, we're doing is calling it a voice for the children.
Yeah, we're Voice for the
Benefit
Children. And I thought we'd go to the first dealership and see what they'd like to offer for the picture. Maybe they'll start the bidding at $500. Then we'll go across the street to the next dealership and see if they'll match it, and just go up from there. And maybe NASCAR would like to have this in their corporate office.
Or maybe somebody out there watching the show.
A NASCAR fan. Again, these are some interesting pictures.
They're originals.
They're all originals, and they can't be reproduced.
And they were all taken during the 24 hours of Daytona.
24 hours of Daytona. Yeah.
Well, folks, don't go away, because we're going to have to take a very short break, but we'll be right back with this interesting guest, Mark. And stay tuned, and we're going to take a short commercial break right now.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Mike Aloia. I'm owner and CEO of American Hearts Radio Entertainment Network. I am proud to be here, and I'm so happy to introduce to you a way for you to gain revenue and also have a worldwide presence in the internet. We have a lot going on here behind the scenes, and what we do is we offer a way for you to have your own web television show. Also a way for you to put some money in your pocket. Also our supporters and sponsors, a way for them to have revenue, as well as great commercial advertisement on multi-platforms. We play a variety of music and a variety of radio shows. We also produce original web television personalities. Now, if you've ever had a dream of having your own web TV show, this is the place to come. All you basically have to do is have your format, come to the studio, we'll do all the rest. We will promote and create an intro tailor-fit for you and your personality and your show. As long as you keep it family friendly, we're going to have a lot of fun. And I've got several things here that I'd like to point out when you become part of our family. We are a family-owned entertainment network, and in order for you to become part of our family, it is very low-cost, affordable. As long as you are able to handle your production cost, we'll basically do the rest. You're hiring us to make you a star, all right? Now, first of all, with our opportunity tree, and this is a basic flow chart, worldwide exposure for your show and your business if you become a sponsor or a supporter. Now, you are also exposed in all internet social media, all major platforms such as YouTube, Ustream, our private attain response. We also do a lot of co-promotion with other websites, and our fan base is growing at a tremendous rate. We do honor our military and veteran personnel worldwide, and we are endorsed by Johnny Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner. We will also co-promote you on multiple websites, and also you'll have an edge with the major presence in the social media. Invest in yourself. That's what it's all about. And once you invest into yourself, you're investing into us, and we will in turn invest into you. And once you become a web TV personality, any referrals that you bring in, you will get a 10% discount on your production cost. Any supporters or sponsors that you bring in to support your show and our network, we will tailor create the commercials to fit that service or business. And also, you will get a 50-50 split on that, anything up to $1,000. Then you will get a 60% split, and we'll get 40%. We're here to give back and to put money in your pocket to help to where your production cost eventually won't cost you anything, okay? Also, here's a kicker. Your sponsors or supporters that you bring to the table, anybody they bring in, any sponsors or web TV personalities, they will receive a commission off the referrals from the WEBTV personalities they bring in, and also we will give them a commission on any sponsors or supporters they bring in. So what this does is ensures that your sponsors and supporters that you bring to the table are also making money, which will secure your sponsorship dollars. And it's such a beautiful, simple format where everybody wins, okay? We are part of a family. This is a family network, and we would want you to become part of our family and spread the word. Bring the people that want their own shows. You will get a commission off of that. And also bring the supporters. Any mom and dad, everyday Joes that have a business, service, talent, that wants the exposure, that wants to be part of a major network that'll push them in every direction of social media. Give us a call, 904-229-8150, 904-229-8150. If you want opportunity and you want to generate some revenue for yourself and your family, become part of our family network. My name's Mike Aloia, CEO of American Hearts Radio Entertainment Network, and we are on a mission from God. Thank you.
Hey, this is Johnny Van Zandt. You're watching American Hearts Radio Web TV.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Marc Urbach, my guest tonight, has had some interesting comments about a few things that are of great interest to all of us. I got two other points that I wanted to touch on before you have to leave.
Sure.
Immigration. Donald Trump, as of yesterday, said all illegals should be exported or deported to their home countries.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Well,
Yes or no?
it's a hard...
Or is it a gray area?
No, for me it's not a gray area, but to answer that question, the president is supposed to enforce the laws.
Right.
Okay? I haven't read all the immigration laws that our Congress has passed, okay? But what is a fact is the Constitution. That's the law of the land. And according to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4 states to establish and rule of naturalization. Okay, meaning the Congress has the power and authority over immigration, naturalization, which is immigration.
Not the president.
Not the president. So what President Obama's been doing the last 7 years by flooding this nation with illegals from all parts of the world is beyond unconstitutional and illegal, a high crime against this nation. I think he's the worst traitor in the nation's history. So for me to answer that question, I will have to read the laws that are on the books right now. And then if I was president, I'd have to decide. I don't have to decide. I have to enforce those laws. That's my job. So if Trump is just boasting with words that I'm going to deport everybody, he can say that if he wants to spend the money and bust 15 to 16 million illegals, or how many there are. We don't know how many, because no one's counted all these people. If he wants to do that, let him go ahead. I have a more logical solution.
Well, you mentioned the Constitution.
Sure.
I wanted you to touch on that because you're a constitutional scholar.
Right.
And wanted you to kind of read something out of the book there.
Okay.
That you found very interesting.
That ties into immigration, or
Constitution.
Oh, that ties into the Constitution. Okay.
Right.
Well, the First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. And that means that Congress cannot establish one church for the nation or one denomination of Christianity for the nation, and the people have the freedom of religion to practice their religion freely from the federal government getting involved with their practice of religion. That's the true meaning of freedom of the First Amendment. What Hugo Black said in 1947 was, it's on page 51 of my book, he says the First Amendment has created a wall of separation between church and state. That wall must be kept high and impregnable. We cannot approve the slightest breach, which is the exact opposite of the real meaning of the First Amendment.
Right.
Like I said earlier, folks, he was completely misinterpreted. He had no business being on the Supreme Court for 35 years. He should have never been nominated by Franklin D. Roosevelt, and he had hardly any experience as a judge. And this is what happened when you put unprincipled men in high levels of our government. We have tremendous amounts of rhinos trying to become president in this nation. We have tremendous amounts of unqualified people in our Congress. And like you said, Dennis, during the break, you're fed up with it. I'm fed up with it. Millions, tens and millions of American citizens are fed up with the corruption at the state level. I've talked to state legislators. They've told me they don't read the bills. The federal politicians don't read the bills. And I'm not going to put up with it. I'm calling for, again, in my book, a moral revolution As an Orthodox Jew, I'm calling for our religious freedoms to be reestablished in our public schools where they belong. Okay? And I'm asking Americans, do we need a third great awakening? And I'm sure after watching and listening to us, or listening to me the last 15 minutes, I definitely feel we do.
Well, Mark, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you,
thoughts.
Dennis. It's a
and,
pleasure.
Good luck with your book.
Thank you so
Folks,
much.
I gave you information on how to contact Mark earlier, so please do so. And I'm going to bring a couple of other special guests up here right now.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, thank you.
Good job. These fellows have helped my son Mike and our network, American Hearts Radio and Television, do a lot of good work for the needy families of these two girls that we mentioned earlier that are suffering from cancer by putting together some benefits. And they also are involved in some other things, and I want them both to explain to the audience how their project is going and what they're all about. This is a gentleman named Santa Bob. How you doing there, Bob?
I'm doing fine, Dennis. Thanks very much for having us here this evening.
And you got your partner in crime coming up
Yeah.
here, Mr. Batman. He's
Batman
getting
Jack.
his. He's just leaving the Batmobile. Come on over here, Batman.
Thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for
How
having
you
me on
doing?
the program here.
Why don't you guys? We got a few minutes here. Why don't you guys take off and tell the audience what you'd like to talk about? Santa Bob, go ahead.
Well, we did a benefit concert for the Welter family up in Jacksonville. Actually, it was what was the city?
In Middleburg, Florida,
Florida.
right? At the Legion Post 250, and we're doing a lot of work with the Legion people. That's because we're veteran friendly here in American Hearts Radio.
Right. We put this show together for those little girls that were in dire need, and we're going to try and do some more for them.
Yes, excuse
go
me,
ahead.
Santa, but before it goes on anyway, I'd like to give a big shout out for our people in Middleburg, Florida at the Legion. They did a spectacular job in putting on this benefit. Thank you very much, Legion Post 250.
Absolutely. We appreciate very much what you've done for them. We raised about $4,000 for those folks, and we need to do some more. So we're going to do that. Today we were out yesterday we were out in Stone Mountain, Georgia, talking to some people about what they would think about them removing that from the mountain, the
Absolutely true, dear Santa Bob. You know, the Confederate Army get into a lot of things, and as my friend Marc here can tell you, right, the historian, it wasn't just a few people that were involved in this. This was thousands of soldiers in our American history, and people now are organizing themselves to get rid of the stars and bars, and you know that as the Confederate flag, and to sandblast Stone Mountain, the generals that led the Confederate armies from this very south area through marshes and mud and battles that were not fought for no particular reason, and we don't want that part of our American heritage to die now, do we?
No,
Absolutely
you
not.
You interviewed some people from this area as well as other areas and got
Right.
their opinions, and the folks can see that on the American Hearts Radio website, right?
Absolutely true. We're putting on a program now to I guess, champion this cause.
Well, now we have different opinions going back and forth, which is always a good thing. Debate's always a great thing. Folks, we're running a little short tonight.
Tell them where we went today.
You just did. Stone Mountain.
That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Oh,
was
you went
Stone
somewhere
Mountain.
today.
Yes.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
in this particular segment, right, we didn't stop at just taking pictures of Stone Mountains, right? We actually went to part of the battlefields that was originated here in the South. We were at the Confederate graveyard that is being maintained by one of the Legionnaire posts. God bless Americans and God bless our veterans, right? They're always doing something good. And that's why American Hearts Radio is with this. We want to do something good.
Okay.
Santa?
Absolutely. We were out there today, and there's some of these grave sites on that particular graveyard that are marked with just a stone. There's no name on it, no nothing, just a marking on a stone. That dates clear back to the Revolutionary War. It's a very good thing to have out there. It's a monument to everything, all of our history, part of our American history, and we need to keep it maintained. And they do a very good job of that. Post 207, American Legion.
If you've been following,
Ready to go off, get Mark on in the...
if you've been following our network, right, you know that not only have we been bringing you benefits, and we have been doing other things throughout the community because we're family friendly, but we're very, very
Back here.
patriotic as
Your
well.
opinion, Mark, to what we're doing here.
Well,
I don't like seeing things just whitewashed and removed from society just because some people might not like them in society. So I don't want to see anything removed, especially statues and monuments. They should stay.
Well, that's good.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so
All right,
much,
guys,
Mark.
let's have a big hand for a good show, and I think we'll come back and do this again next month.
All right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
American Hearts Radio.
Yeah.
Please tune in. Thank you so much. God bless America.
All right.
God bless.